The 10th of February 2021. Good evening, gang. Welcome along to tonight's United Kingdom talk. Welcome along to our little chat show. Hope you're well today. Literally in the last 10 seconds, I thought I'd bring a plant in. There we are. I brought a plant into the... Isn't it lovely? Look, I've had to move this to a different window. It was literally obscuring what I could see out the window. It's quite tall, and that came from a tiny little plant. I've repotted that twice now, and... well, to be honest, it could do with another pot. Now, I've got one, two... There must be about 5 or 6, trunks. What do you call them? Stems? 5 or 6 trunks or stems coming out of that now. I wonder if you can actually split that up. It's very nice, isn't it, eh? Very nice. I usually used to sit in the bedroom, but I moved it yesterday from the hall. And when I looked at it, I thought, oh, that might be a quite nice thing to have behind me on the show tonight. So there we are. That's all well and good. Hope you're well today. A very, very cold night ahead. We're looking at -6 or -7 tonight down here in Bracknell. Not that it wasn't cold last night. But it didn't get down to sort of -7. If you're elsewhere in the country, it might even get even colder. -15 they're talking about. I don't think we've experienced temperatures like that for some years now, have we? Not since that beast from the east many, many years ago. But that being said, we haven't really got much snow here at all. In fact, most of it's disappeared now. The little sprinkling that was hanging around, only because it was cold, has completely disappeared. Well, it doesn't seem to bother Gary the cat, who continues to come over here on regular occurrences for meals. You may remember I had the most beautiful, delightful birthday present from my nephew's wife and his family. And my nephew, of course, Gary and Stacey, for my birthday on Friday. Well, I finished that, but I didn't quite use all the clotted cream, because they give you this thing of clotted cream. Well, I swear, it's like a butter dish. You buy butter and you get like the Lure pack, for example. There's a small one like that, half the size, and there's the normal size one. It was like the small version of one of those butter things. But far too much, actually, for 4 scones, or it was for me. I mean, I don't even exactly spread it on very thinly, So I only used maybe a little bit more than half of that, and it's sat in the fridge now since Friday, so, well, I better get rid of it. I thought the cat will love that. Cats love cream, don't they? I seem to remember giving my cats, my pussies loves a little lick of cream. That all of them did. My pussies loved cream. They really did. And on regular occurrences, I used to put some down for them. There they were with their little tongues. The little tongues, didn't they? They're sharp. And they got sharp tongues, cats. They're like that in the little cat dish. Well, I put this thing outside. Gary the cat, who comes over and visits me, he had a... and walked off. Walked into the house and went straight to the cupboard. He goes to the cupboard where the food is. It's not my cat. I'm buying the bloody thing cat food now. And what he does is he stretches up. I'm going to show you. Shall I show you what he does? So pretend I'm a cat now. Pretend I'm a cat. And he comes along. And that is the cupboard door. And he's like this. It's like this. Like that. Paws up on there. And they're big paws. They're very big paws. He could do some damage, but he's so laid back, this cat. And the thing looks at me with those eyes. Feed me, feed me. So Daddy has to feed his pussy. Daddy's pussy has to be fed, and I feed him. He gets 1 packet of food a day. You can't give him any more than that. I've got packets of food. You buy the foil sachets, don't you? And you rip the rip the top off there and go. But when he says, if you open the cupboard door, bleeding cat climbs in it. I'm serious. He not just into the cupboard and sits down at the back of it, behind the potatoes. Come on, here you come. I'm like that. It's mad, isn't it? Anyway, then I get the packet. As soon as he sees that packet of food, meow, meow. And he's so excited. He's going from side to side, and I feed him outside, so I don't get mess on the kitchen floor, just outside the front door. And as I come to the front door, the paws go up at the front door handle. Like, yes, this is the handle. Please open it for me. I want to come through. And he don't give you a chance to put it down. It's like a dog. He don't give you a chance to put it down at all. My 3 pussies that I had over the years were not like that. They weren't. They would sit there patiently waiting. This thing is jumping up and everything. I want him to jump up at me because usually if I'm walking down the path outside, perhaps I've been to the co-op or on a walk or something like that, he comes running up to me. I want him to run up to me and jump up, like a child does. I've seen some people's cats doing it on TikTok videos. TikTok, TikTok. That's great, isn't it? But we do like Gary the cat. But the cold doesn't bother him. No, he just sits out. He sits out there for hours sometimes. If I'm doing a show, not tonight because everything's run into time nicely. Sometimes, I might lay in bed after my afternoon sleep a little bit too long, watching some uninteresting London news. And I'll get up in a minute. And I might leave it a bit too long. And then I'll see the cat as I come up the stairs. And I haven't got time to feed him. And I come up the stairs. I go back down 2.5 hours later. He's still there, just sitting there. They're such patient creatures. What a shame everyone hasn't got patience like that, innit? Huh? Have you got patience like that? I hope you have. Oh, dear. Anyway, let's read. You've got a texting number, 07551 259 675. A very good evening to you. If you're new to the show, welcome along. I'm Chris Reardon. This is United Kingdom Talk. We'll just have a little bit of a chat a few times a week on this channel, gang. There is a chat box which you may already be in. Okay, just to let you know, I do not visit the chat box at all, okay? That is for you to chat to each other. To contact me, 3 ways of doing that. You can either email me. There's the email address there, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is the email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, or you can text in a message. The texting number, top left-hand corner of the screen, 07551 259 675, all right? 07551 259 675. Messages are not always instant. If I'm in the middle of a story, don't start he hasn't read my message out yet. He hasn't read, can't believe it. I sent a message 3 seconds ago and he hasn't read it out yet. That's because we're doing something, dear. That's akin to you standing in the corner of a room at the teacher and continually shouting at them, dear. Do you know what I mean? While they're trying to do lessons. What would happen? Well, when I was at school, you'd get a slap round the face. That's what you get. And I had that from my favourite teacher. She slapped me round the face. I was about 8. Oh, it was a slap. I tell you, perhaps we'll bring that up. We're going to talk about little teachers, your favourite teachers a little bit later on. But let's just read some of your messages coming in to the show today. Greetings to... Let's go down to the bottom. There's Maureen. Good evening, Maureen. Maureen. The good news is, with Maureen, I have now found another way to text people. Okay? So I no longer have to put credit on the text in number. That being said, it still doesn't work, right? Can you see? We've got 4 lines going. So to read the messages, I have to go like that and kind of scroll them up a bit and down a bit so I can see. This I'm going to get repaired. I did get another phone, okay, which arrived yesterday from Amazon. And it's all right. It's a very, very basic phone. It does phone calls and text messages. And all I want it for was the text messages. And this phone cost 17 quid. I thought, happy days, right? So I got it. There is, unfortunately, no way, it would seem, of easily transferring iPhone contacts to another phone unless it's another iPhone. Okay? With the more expensive Huawei and things like that, I think my nephew went from iPhone to Huawei, and that came with some software. Yeah, but that's a Huawei, premium rate phone. Do you know what I mean? It's not like the 20 quid job or the 17 quid job that I got from Amazon. And it was just not possible to transfer the contacts from that to that. Why do I need that? Because I've got so many of your names in there now. And when you text in, once you've texted in, I marry up your name to the number that it's come in from. So in future, you don't have to put your name on there, as you well know. Maureen hasn't signed this tonight, but her number is already in there as Maureen, so I know it's her. And I think it's a nice thing to be able to say hello to people rather than just numbers. Yeah, it would get a bit annoying, if Maureen texts in, as she does every single show. If she texts in and I have to keep saying to her, could you put Maureen? And she'd soon get fed up writing Maureen all the time. Well, you don't have to do that now, because once you've texted in, if I've put your name to the number, which 99% of the time I do, the next time you text in, I know it's you. It also stops stupid callers. Silly little boys usually. Not usually the girls, very rarely the girls. Silly little boys who send in stupid messages, or similar actually with the Skype. Now, we do use a phone number as well. You'll be able to call in as well a little bit later on. Similar with the Skype. They ring up and put the phone down. It says unknown number. They ring up and put the phone down. Ha! Oh, look, we made him answer the phone. Oh, we made him answer the phone, and we put it down when he answered. Ha! Do you realise how stupid you are? Another one on benefits, are you? Most of these people are on benefits. People who do that, that's all they do. So, and that's why I don't take unknown numbers on the Skype. Because if you call in, as long as you're sending your number in, if you're one of those people that put the phone down, you'll only ever get one chance to do that, because they'll then block you. Yeah? Because they'll make it nice and smooth for everyone else who's watching. It spoils it for everyone else. You may think in your sad, lonely, pathetic life it's quite funny to pick it up and put it down, but you annoy everyone else, and we're trying to make it nice and smooth, and that's why. All right, so Maureen, as I say, we can now text from Skype at a very, very reasonable rate. Very, very reasonable rate. Not like £1 a day, like on Bleeding Vodafone, which is the new charge they've introduced. I think we mentioned this the other day. How it would work before, when I thought this is how it worked. Pay as you go is pay as you go. You make a call, you get charged 10 pence a minute, whatever it is. You send a text, you get charged 10 pence a text, which was fine. You're not going to notice 10 pence, but they bloody well changed it back in December, right? So now, every time you switch the phone on, it costs you £1 for the whole day. And admittedly, in that day, you can make as many calls or texts or data's thing. I think so. You can do as much as you want for £1 a day. You see, to someone who's not working out figures in their heads, that sounds a good deal. No, it isn't. Not if you use it every blooming day, it's not. I'm with 3 here. Unlimited minutes, data and texts, £20 a month. Vodafone, if you're using it as a pay-as-you-go, £31 a month. How is that fair? Answer is it's not, unless, of course, we'll have someone text in now. Oh, what about February? There's only 27 days in February. So if I say that, and then some other dickhead would text in, wouldn't they? Oh, what about on a leap year? It's always someone trying to be clever, isn't there? Have you noticed that? Idiots. Just complete and utter idiots. That's what they are. Idiots. Anyway, so on the Skype, it's more like about 10, 15 pence a text, which is fine. No problem at all. So that's fine. So we've now found a way of texting Maureen and bingo numbers, and I'm really happy that she's been able to been involved in that, rather than just sitting there and playing on her own. Now she's along with all the rest of you. All right, so it's nice, isn't it? Excellent, Maureen, and I got your text back there. Thank you, Maureen. Good evening to Paul in Cornwall. Evening, Paul. Just want to say thank you, Chris. My mental health is going down slowly but surely because of the radio. What, you mean you're getting worse? But the looks of that text there, it kind of comes across that you're telling us it's getting worse because of the radio. A lot of people go into deep depression after I've done a show, to be honest. The suicide rates have gone up in this country, my dear. God, ever since I started... But, well, it's not really broadcasting, is it? Ever since I started streaming... Again, you have to get the words right. If I say broadcasting, again, there'll be an email drop in from a professional. There's all these experts around. Well, it's not actually broadcasting, is it? You get some idiot like that, rather than just turn it off because they don't like it, they have to make comment. Always remember, if you make comment, I'll make one back. If you don't want to comment back, don't make the original comment. Yes, Paul says, good evening. I just want to say thank you, Chris. My mental health is going down slowly. I mean, that really does sound like you're getting worse. Or you are awful, Paul. Because of the radio. And like I said before, radio is my medicine from DJ Sparky. And radio is a very good medicine, as indeed is laughter. Although, as I've said before, unless you're diabetic, in which case you'll find insulin works a lot better than radio or laughter. All right, my love. Good evening to Rachel Wheatland. Evening, Rachel. Hello to Gary Ross. He's emailing in. There's the email down there, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and the text top left-hand corner, 07551 259 675. Shania on the Isle of Wight. Good morning, Shania. It's actually evening, darling. Poor old cow, dear. She's probably laid in bed all day and hasn't opened her curtains yet. She doesn't realise the whole day has passed. It's night. Hello, dear. It's night time. Oh, these things are sent to test us, aren't they? Have you got your... Now, what did you win? What did you win, Shania? You won something. Ah, your Christmas backdrop. Has that arrived yet? That was posted yesterday, darling. Your Christmas backdrop, and someone won a water bottle. That was a new player, wasn't it? What was his name? Chris or something like that, was it? I can't remember now. Hello to you. You should all have your presents. Actually, there's a bit of a delay in the post at the moment, as we well know with Leslie Ross. I don't know if she's got her what is it now? She got a water bottle. Can't remember now. Can't remember what went out, but she didn't have it. She hasn't got hers yet, or she didn't have up to last. When's the last time we heard from young Leslie? I think it was Friday, wasn't it? Friday sort of time. That sort of day, was it? I think it might have been that day. Hello to Daniel Holmes. Good evening, Daniel Holmes. Evening to you, sir. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're well, Daniel. Are you playing the bingo, Daniel? I can't remember now. Are you on the bingo list? George Bond is there. Hello to George, who's listening to James. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? 1 minute. Is listening to... What's he say? Is listening to James in the background on Reach on Air. How can you listen to two things at the same time? Is that James Freer? He's all right, James. Hello to Jason. Evening, Jason Hughes. Fran Green likes the shirt. Thank you, Fran. It's an old one. This one's come from the caravan, actually. You know, I've got a whole load of caravan shirts now that I thought, I might as well iron them. But although, remember, I only iron the front. Only the bit you can see. Why do the whole lot? Waste of time, dear. And energy. The iron has to be on for at least 5 hours to iron the whole thing. Adam the Plumber's there. Evening, Adam. Who says, let's have a look. Oh, we were doing the weigh-in today, aren't we? That's right. I've weighed myself tonight. It's 19 stone, 1.5 pounds. Right, what was he last week? Oh, hang on. No, it's gone up half a pound, I think. Looks like you've gone up half a pound this week, Adam, which is nothing. Don't worry about that, my friend. 19 stone, 1.5 pounds. It's actually getting a little bit... I'm going to have to do something about this. Look, it's all over the bleeding place. Look, there you are, Adam. You started off at 19 stone 1, then you were 19 stone 2, then you were 19 stone 4, then you were 19 stone 1. Now you're 19 stone, 1.5 pounds. And Royston is now 15 stone, 8 pounds. Oh, so he's gone up a pound as well, has he? Okay. 15 stone, 8 pounds. Those of you that are doing our weekly weigh-in, gang, may want to text your weight to me now if you're already on the list, and we can see how you're doing, all right? I have weighed myself this morning, and I'm very surprised, I'll be honest with you, because, you know, it was my birthday Friday. I had the most wonderful birthday cake. Wonderful birthday cake from my mate and his ex other half, who's still living in the same place. I don't know how that works out, but they seem to be getting on. Yes, they bought me this wonderful birthday cake, and I had most of it myself. I would say I had more than 3/4 of this enormous birthday cake myself, and I enjoyed every bleeding mouthful. Thanks very much. Not in the same day. No, I'm not greedy, dear. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 5 days that lasted. It's all right, isn't it? Little couple of slices a day. But I mean, big slices. No point in having a little slice of cake, dear. You can get that at Starbucks. £5. Where is it? It's on the plate. Where? You must be off your head buying bits of cake in Starbucks. And those, what are they called? Paninis or whatever they are. Bits of cheese oozing out the side. And don't they ever smile when they look at you? Mind you, a bloke didn't smile to me today. I had to go into this shop today. He was not interested. He was not interested. Just going back to the phone thing at the moment, right? So that phone I told you that I've got from Amazon. Amazon, now you know what I think of Amazon. I think they're fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The way they arrange to take things back and you have a problem or anything like that, I think they're great. But something's changed. They've obviously done a deal. And guess what company they've done a deal with? Bleeding Hermes. Hermes, the mail order people. You know them. They're the ones that throw the... If you watch these YouTube videos and TikTok videos, they throw the parcels all around the place. Dreadful. Anyway, they've obviously done some sort of deal with them. So now, if you want to send something back, it's only Hermes. Right? No post office option on there. And it was so easy to go to the post office. You didn't even have to print it. We don't have to do it with Hermes, right? So let me tell you this. The nearest Hermes I've got is in Crowthorne. Now, it just so happens I also had a very small cheque to pay in, right? And there's a nationwide in Hermes, in Crowthorne, rather. I also told you that I've got a laptop that has stopped working. It won't start up. And the computer repair shop is also in Crowthorne. So... kind of thought, well, okay, well, that's not too bad because I've got 3 things I was going to do at some point. So I've done them all this morning. So after my radio show, I was going to cycle, but it's not really walking distance, Crowthorne. It's cycling distance, not walking. But I was a bit concerned about ice on the pavements, or not the pavements, the cycleways, which are shared. We've got shared cycleways and pavements, parts of around here. And... if you hit ice on a bike and it's next to a very busy road, you're asking for trouble. It's bad enough walking on the stuff. Cycling and hitting ice is not funny. You just go over and it's painful. And I've just got over my back pain, as you well know. It's not too bad at all now. I can move around easily. Now and again I'll move like that, but it only happened once today, so can't complain. Anyway, so I thought, well, I'll do it all today. So after the radio show, I got the car out of the garage. And went down to Crowthorne, and in the car it's only about 10-15 minutes or so. And first of all, I dropped the laptop off into the computer repair shop, told her what was wrong, told her what I tried, and I said I looked up on the internet, I think it was, and someone told me to short out this thing, and she said, oh, you shouldn't have done that. I said, well, the battery was out. She said, yeah, take the battery out and put it back in. She said, but don't short it out in there. So she said I shouldn't have done that. Oh, right, okay. And I told her what was wrong. She said, it sounds like it might be the main board. Okay, leave it with us. I'll look at it for you. I said to her, are you busy at the moment? She said, it's absolutely manic in there. Manic. And when you go in there, it's a bit of an untidy shop, which I don't mind. You know, some of these blokes who run these places, it's obviously a private shop owned and run by one bloke. I don't know if she's staff or family or anything like that. But they're always very nice in there. He was busy on the phone chatting away to someone else. And when you look around, there's just staff everywhere. And there's wires on desks attached to computers, most of which have got the cover off and the fans are whirring around in there. And he's got hard drives attached where he's clearly transferring stuff from one hard drive to another on various people's machines, flashing lights. It's a mess. It's worse than here. It's worse than in here. But the bloke probably knows exactly where everything else. And the last thing you want is for some spick and span person to go in there and tidy the whole blooming thing up, isn't it? Nightmare. Anyway, so I dropped it off. Thanks very much. And I said to her, I said, well, you're manic at the moment. I said, just to let you know, there's no rush on this one. I said, you fixed one for me back in just before Christmas, wasn't it? And it was back to me in 4 hours. That was the main one that I'm using to broadcast to you. Or not the broadcast computer, the one that plays the music and I get all the news stories and your emails and all that off. That had gone wrong. It was the hard drive. Hard drive had bust. Seagate hard drive. Apparently they're one of the worst. And they're well known for failing fairly quickly. Although this computer is, I don't know, 2016. So the computer there's 4 years old. So I've had 4 years out of a hard drive. Is that good? I don't know really, because I've never had one fail before, ever. Never had a hard drive fail before, so that was the first one. Anyway, so they fixed that within 4 hours. But I said to the lady, there's no rush on this one. This is my work computer. Now, I did say to you, I wasn't going to bother having it repaired yet because there's no sign of work coming back. And even when the pubs do open, I don't know if I've got a job to go to. It's just how it is, you know. It's just unfortunate. We don't know what's going to happen when the pubs open or anything else, really. Which kind of leads on to our first story today, but I'll just finish this part of it. So I dropped that off and I come out of there, and then I thought I'll drop off my Hermes parcel next, right? So I located the shop, One Stop Shop. Right? So I've gone in this shop. I'm looking about. There's no one to see in there. It was a bit like a glorified newsagent. Do you know what I mean? As well as papers and that, they had all sorts of food, like a little corner shop type thing, except it wasn't on the corner. It's only small and long. I'm looking around. Oh, there's no one here, right? And right behind the till there, I saw a bloke, and he's like this. His head's like this, right? It's like this. Hello? Hello, mate. Do you do the herpes here? He's like, Sorry? The machine over there. What machine? You got to scan it. Okay, well, I know that. I knew I had to scan it because when I booked it on the Amazon, right, as I say, there's no option now for post office. It's all Hermes. Now, admittedly, one of the options is pick up from home, and that's free. Also, drop off is free. But I didn't want the pick up at home because they give you the time 8 till 8. Well, you mean I've got to stay in for 12 hours waiting for someone who may or may not turn up? And I say that because I've had experiences of trying this service out with herpes and no one came. Twice they didn't come. So I didn't want to use that facility again because, of course, I stayed in all day, 12 hours. You could, I suppose, leave it outside the front door, but then you run the risk of saying, well, no one come and collected it when they've actually taken it. I don't trust anyone, mate. I don't trust anyone, dear. So that's the option I took, was to drop it off at this place. I was just disappointed. Oh, right, okay, mate. So I've already printed off a little barcode and stuck it on the box. Now, when I do home printing for labels and that, and I print them off and I stick them on a parcel, as you will well know, if you've received a little parcel from me before of a prize or something like that, you know. As you well know, I put a piece of tape across the barcode. Now, I do this because of my nephew saying, do you ever put a bit of tape on? And I said to him, no, right? And he said, well, I do. He said, because it's only like ink. Bit of water gets on there, and it's these stupid little dot things. And they're just awful things. If the ink water gets on there, it's going to run, and the machine's not going to be able to read it, is it? So I always put a bit of tape on. So I've come across this machine. It says scan your code here. You have to touch buttons and things like that. So this box has come up, and I'm holding this. I cannot get this thing in the right position for love of money, can I? And even when I did, the light that is coming out of the machine to illuminate the barcode, or what is that called? The dot code thing, whatever it's called, I don't know. This dot code thing, the light that's coming out of that is reflecting back off the piece of sellotape that I put across the damn thing so that it doesn't get wet. Oh, Christ. Unfortunately, I had also done it on here, right? I'd done it on here as well. So I'd taken a photograph of that. I'm holding this underneath a suit. I said, I can't get this to work, mate. Oh, yeah. Stand back, stand back. Sorry? Stand back, you're too close to the machine. So anyway, I stood back a bit and eventually it happened. Bing! Oh. And then it chucked a label out of me, another label out. I'm standing there and this bloke's gone back behind them and he's got his head back down. I don't know what he was doing there. Probably looking at pornography or something like that. He's no interest in me whatsoever. Seriously. I said, what do I do with this? Stick it on. Oh. So I took this. I was the only one in there. It's not like he was busy. Crowthorne High Street, Best One it was called. Very bad service. Stuck this label on. I said, okay, there you go, mate. Do I just give it to you? Down the back. Pardon? Down the back. And he's pointing like this. Blooming rude. And he swore then. What a rude man. Really rude. And I went down the back and I'm looking around. I said, look, where do you want me to put this? Round the corner. Now, I would have said something. If I was in there to buy something, believe me, I would have said something to this rude, ignorant human being. Rude. But I was giving him a parcel. And it wouldn't take him much long to look at my parcel and chuck it out, would it? Do you know what I mean? So I thought, say nothing. So I eventually went round the corner, and round the corner is this massive pile of parcels. Seriously, it's up higher than that mirror ball. Massive pile like that. So I'm looking, I'll just put it on the top there. You do get a receipt for this thing. Okay, so you've got the receipt, you've checked in, you've got your little bit of paper, and he writes out a little docket thing and gives you this receipt. And I just left it on the top of the pile and walked out. I mean... Another bad business person. I mean, how rude can you possibly be? So that was that. Then I went over to the bank, and that was easy. Just paid me checking at the machine. And I thought, I wonder if Lidl's very busy. So I looked and I thought, oh, I don't know if that's busy or not, because you know I won't go into a busy shop at the moment. And I thought, well, I'll give it a go. And anyway, got to the door and there were two people going in before me. I thought, oh, what is it? Another two here. It must be busy in there. Anyway, I went through. And once, of course, you've gone through the door, you can't come back out that way, right? So I've gone in, and as soon as I was in the door, I thought, oh, there's too many people in here. Too many people in there for my liking. So I thought, no, I'm not going to go in. So I went straight to the tills. Of course, one till open, queue going back there. Same as Audi. Lidl and Audi are the same with their bleeding tills. Although that being said, it does move fairly quickly, right? So I said, is it all right to go straight out? I haven't got anything, mate. And he's, yeah, well, just push the gate. So I pushed the gate and I went through. And then there's a lady behind me. She was quite close to me, elderly lady. And I went through this gate. And as I walked past, the alarms went off. I thought, oh, Christ, that's all we need now. Beep, 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 beep. Well, it can't have been me. I didn't have anything. But I did have an empty bag. And the empty bag was over my arm. I thought, well, this is going to look good that I've nicked something. You know, I've asked him to go out without going through the till. And now, as I've gone through the beep, beep, beep thing, this thing's gone off. And I thought, this is going to... I said, oh, it's me, mate. And the lady, of course, behind me, she said, oh, is it me? And he's looked over at both of us and just waved us through, so off we went. So I didn't buy anything in Lidl. Then jumped back in the car and came back here. So that was my experience. Well, bad move, Amazon. That's the first time you've upset me. Bleeding herpes. I have to send it now. They've obviously done a deal with herpes to make it cheaper. And the post office were perfectly good. You know, but there we are, one of those things. Anyway, did we get to this weigh-in thing? Yes, so the weigh-in thing, after eating all that cake and all those afternoon teas and the fudge and all that, I have put on 0.4 of a pound. So I'm quite happy about that. My mate says, oh, I bet you put on 3 pounds this week. No! Not that he sees this, he won't be watching this, I'm afraid. Don't get any support from your friends when you're doing this sort of thing. You have to find other people. Family, they support you. So last week I was 13 stone, 0.5 pounds. This week I am 13 stone, 5.4 pounds. We're going up. We're going up. All right. Anyone else sending in their weight today? Thanks very much, Adam the plumber. We've got ears. Alan Ross. Good evening to Alan Ross today, who's watching while preparing for tonight's show. Alan Ross is on the radio tonight. You like him? He's doing 3 hours this week. How's he managed it? Till 3 in the morning? How'd you manage that? You're obviously a nighttime person. Alan, were you on the radio before, like as in FM or something like that? I think you were, because you've got one of them voices, the deep voice, like the old nighttime voices on the radio. Do you remember those? They had a certain voice, didn't they? And Alan's got that voice. If you want to just sit there, perhaps in bed, you know, relaxing and put Alan on, then you won't be disappointed. Seriously, but it's just a very relaxing voice, really. I mean, people have said to me that I have a relaxing show and that, you know, when they can't go to sleep, they put me on. And it's absolutely guaranteed to send people to sleep, this show. There's Maureen. Good evening, Maureen. Thanks for the text there, Maureen. Evening to Mick Davenport. Shania has corrected herself and she says, good evening. I sent that message this morning. Well, it's only just come in. Evening to Steve Murray. He's sitting there in his caravan eating a curry. Not caravan, a converted prison van. He's got a converted prison van. Seriously, he's kitted it out and he's living in it in a field. Loves it. Got a diesel heater, which are excellent things, although a little bit noisy, I gather. Hello to Amelia. Amelia tonight is 16 stone 8. Amelia last week was 16 stone 10. Well done, Amelia. £2 lost for Amelia Phillips tonight. Well done, Amelia. Well done, darling. It's not easy, is it? Keep on it, girl. Well done. Fantastic news. Hello to Weird City Citizen. What kind of plant is it? Do you know? I don't know, to be honest. Jesus. You know what that is? Because there's a second one of these. Look, there's another one here for guests, except we never have any. I'm still trying to get Theresa May in, but she's taken up botany or something like that. Yeah, I don't know what it is. And when you water it, you see the tips of the leaves, they drip. Well, they don't drip. They get sticky little bulbs of what would you call it? Bulbs of little drips of something on there. I don't know what it is. It doesn't like drip all over the floor. It just sort of hangs there. It does require a lot of water, that one. In fact, it could do with some water at the moment, to be honest. And good evening to Diane Jebb this evening. Evening, Diane. You don't need to send your name anymore, Diane. You do come up as your own name there. All right, my love. Let me just clear down some of these beautiful messages that you're sending in this evening. As always, thanks for your messages. They are appreciated, my darling. Okay, there's George Daniel Holmes. There's Daniel. There's Michael Lawrence. I think I said hello to you, Michael, did I? If you want to send a text in, 07551259675. Hello to my very, very good friend, one of my old assistant managers, actually. I worked sort of under him, so to speak, if you see what I mean. Although it wasn't like working for him, it was more like working with him. We always got on very well. One of the very, very, very few people, and I count them on one hand, who has kept in contact with me from the Black Cap. Sad, isn't it? You know, you meet all these thousands of people over the years. People that you work with, that you've DJ'd to. Literally thousands of people in 18 years. And less than 5 have kept in contact. Richard is probably the one who keeps in contact more than anyone else. And he writes, I seem to recall there was a TV programme about herpes a couple of years ago when an undercover reporter showed that herpes can't always be bothered to deliver packages, pretending they have, and instead lorry loads of parcels go off to auction and they pocket the money. That's from Richard there. Thank you, Richard. Shocking. I have seen videos of them literally throwing these parcels at people's doors. It's disgusting. I wouldn't use them. Now we're forced to by Amazon, which is a bit of a disappointment. Evening to Gavin Bass. Hello, Gavin. Gavin's had some medical issues, some of which are weight related. So he went on his own back, of his advice of the doctor as well, to lose some weight, and he's doing very well. I'm now 15 stone. What were you last week, Gavin? Oh, you're not on my list, Gavin. Do you want me to start? Well, I'll tell you what, Gavin. What did you start at? So you're now 15 stone. And am I right in thinking you've lost quite a lot of weight? We're talking stones. What did you start at before you started doing it? Do let us know. By the way, if you're on our list, we don't tell you how to lose weight or anything. I'm not like a branch of Slimming World or anything like that. Oh, that's blooming hard work working for them. Oh, remember I used to go to Slimming World. The crap that those people have to put up with. Not the customers. The people who are running it. And the bullshit, honestly. You should hear them. Oh, I can't believe it. I went to a wedding last week and I just had a square of ham, about an inch, and I seem to have put on £6. Lying old bag. She sat there stuffing cream cakes and sausage rolls in. That's why you're not losing weight, dear. And then they have a go. What happened then? There was a flash then, wasn't there? Did we have a slight interruption in power for a moment? I think it was a slight interruption in power. It was the generator changing over, probably, at the generating station. Perhaps a nuclear power station has just blown up. And we're all about to be not victimised. That's on the BBC, victimisation, isn't it? Oh, who's upset today? Who can we come on this morning and who's been offended? Here's this week's victims. Oh, Christ, do us a favour. Oh, dear. Yes, perhaps there's a nuclear power station that has blown up and we're about to be vaporised. I could suddenly just disappear. I could suddenly become just a cloud of gas in front of you. That's frightening, isn't it? Eh? In the next few seconds, if you just suddenly see me change from this form to a cloud of gas, you'll know a nuclear power station has just blown up here in the UK. Possibly we've got one down in Cornwall, haven't you, Paul? You've got a nuclear power station down there in Cornwall. So Gavin was 19 stone. Look at that. Come on, gang. Round of applause for Gavin, eh? Nice one, Gavin. Brilliant. 19, 18, 17, 16. 4 stone you've lost. Well done, Gav. Fantastic. Evening to Mandy Davenport. Good evening, Mandy. In the house, as always. Evening, Mandy. Gary Ross says the Echo Dot has still not arrived. I thought because of the new border down the Irish Sea, Boris and the EU agreed on leaving it. It would take longer, as all stuff from mainland Britain to Northern Ireland now individually gets checked. So it's still not got there yet. Oh, that's shocking. It really is. Well, let's just wait a little bit longer and see what happens, shall we? I have actually located perhaps something else I could send you. You know, I don't have another one of those, I'm afraid, but I do have something else I could send you if it doesn't arrive. All right. So can we give it another 2 weeks and just let me know? All right. And then you've had like 5 weeks. If it ain't there in 5 weeks, it ain't going to get there, is it? Shocking. Hello to Mike Brighton. Hello, Mike. Hi, Chris. Lovely to see you in full flow and delighted to hear you're looking after your pussy. She has to be... Well, it's not my pussy, darling. Someone else's pussy. Gary the pussycat comes to visit me a couple of times a day. He only wants something to eat. When he realises there's nothing, he's not getting anything, he goes. But he didn't like the clotted cream. Funny, innit? Mike says, as I lost my job due to the COVID, I decided that £55 a month was too high for a mobile phone bill. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what we used to pay years ago, isn't it? I remember having a contract with Orange that was something like 50 quid a month. And it used to go up and up. And then 3 came along. Now, admittedly, when 3 first came here, the customer services was the worst in the world. I mean, it really was. And I came away from them with great difficulty. This bloke was on the phone. I was trying to cancel his contract. He says, I'm begging on my knees, please give us another chance. Are you for real, mate? No, go away. And then they started sending me stuff like I owed them money. Don't think so, mate. And I came away from it, and I swore I'd never go back with them. That's about 20 years ago when they first came out, right? And I thought I'll give them another go about 3 years ago. I'll give them another go, and it's vastly improved. They seem now to know what they're actually doing, but it was dreadful before. And it was them, I think, really, to be honest, who pushed down these prices. Because, as I say, I was paying £50 a month with Orange, right? I've now got this. I'm on SIM only. It's £20 a month, everything included. Don't have to pay anything else. Mike says, I found 1p mobile. All calls and texts are 1 penny, and the top-up is a tenner. That's not bad, is it? The best bit is you don't need to top up monthly. You get your credit rolled over, and you only need to top up every 4 months. I will sadly have to change my mobile number, as EE are not happy to release my pack code until I settle my contract, which I will. Thank you, Mike. Excellent there. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with this, right? This is locked to Vodafone, okay? It's not unlocked. And that's why I really didn't want to go with another provider. Plus, I know that this works here and up at our Lincolnshire television studio complex. I could get a different provider, 3 or something. Well, 3 works up there as well, actually. But a 3 SIM won't work in here because it's locked to the Vodafone. I know you can get them unlocked, but that's easier said than done, innit? I don't know how you do that. Don't know how you do that unlocking business. So that's why I didn't really want to change it. But now we've found a way of texting. Well, it's just Maureen, to be honest. Now I've found another way of texting Maureen the numbers. I don't have to put this £1 on here. Or this £10 on it. Isn't that blooming outrageous, that is? £1 a day. Jesus. Hello to Built in Scotland. Good evening, Mick. Built in Scotland is in the house. And then we'll do this... So we've got some stories to do tonight. Good evening, Chris. You need a longer show in the mornings. An hour's not long enough. Well, yes, I agree. And when the thing is, the Reach On Air schedule is really busy now. The last time I was on Reach, okay, they were struggling to find anyone to go on it. And last time I was on, it must have been about, or it's got to be over 5 years ago. They've been going, I think, 14 years now. It's probably about 6 or 7 years ago was the last time I was on Reach. It's still run, funnily enough, by the same people. And they're a delightful bunch of people on there. Bertie Stevens, he's a lovely bloke. And Craig. And they run the thing. And remember, it's not really a business. It's more of a hobby. Yeah? It's a hobby for me to sit here and do it, okay? And it's a hobby for them to have a radio station. And it costs me and it costs them to run the thing. You know, no one makes very, 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 very tiny amount of people make any money out of internet radio. Really. I did work on an internet radio station some time ago, Play Radio. They had so many different stations and they folded, couldn't make any money. And they were selling advertising. They'd flash up advertising on screens and all that. They couldn't make any money. So though it is a hobby. It is a hobby. And I said on the show on Monday, you know, wouldn't people say to me, wouldn't you like to be on the real radio? And the more I think about it, the more the answer's no. Because I don't want to, I'm in complete control. Complete control, as is everyone on Reach On Air and a lot of other internet radio stations. You want to do a show? Do your show. Not the show that they want you to do. You go and do your show. You know how you want it to sound. You know how much music to talk ratio you want. You know what sort of music you want. Why would I want to go somewhere and be told what to do and say when I can just turn up, crawl out of bed in the morning and do it? That being said, yes, I would like to do 2 hours. I would like to do 2 hours, and it would be the earlier side of it. I wouldn't want to do 9 till 11 because that really cuts into my day of doing other things. There are other things I like to do, you know. I mean, you haven't got much of a life if you're just on the radio all the time. That's not a life. And there are a few people on Reach. And this is not a cuss at all in any way, shape or form. And they're on there a lot. They seem to be on there, and some people several times a day. And I kind of think to myself, well, if you're on the radio all the time and you're not doing anything else, what have you got to talk about? You've nothing to talk about. You know, I've now sat here. I'm not even playing music tonight. I've now sat here and 50 minutes almost has passed now since the start of the show and I still haven't shut up. Because I've done stuff. I've done stuff today and I want to do other stuff. If you're just on the radio every couple of hours, well, what do you talk about? There's nothing to talk about. That being said, the thing is that the schedule is horrendously busy. And when I was on there about 6 or 7 years ago, I did the 10 to 11 slot for quite a long time, a couple of years, I think. But there was no one before me. And I'd do my show and finish at 11. And then there was no one on again until sort of 7 o'clock at night. I was the only one in the morning. Now and again, you'd get someone else perhaps do an hour here or an hour there. But there was hardly anyone on there at all. And when you see something like, if you look on the schedule, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is what I do in the mornings, you see, all right? You can listen on smart speakers as well. And that's the beauty of internet radio now. You're not tied to a computer. If you've got one of those little smart speakers, either an Amazon or a Google Mini or even your mobile phone, you know, Miss Siri herself, dear. She's there, always listening, and you just speak to these things. And as long as you've got various apps enabled, she just plays. You know, you can say, Amazon, play Reach On Air, and it just plays it. And that's the it's wonderful what smart speakers have done for internet radio stations now. Whereas before we really struggled to get anyone listening because basically you had to sit at a computer and listen. But now it's so much easier. You just talk to your speaker and she starts playing. Even in the car. When I went to Crowthorne earlier, I had DJ Swishy on, who's after me. Usually after me. Sometimes it's someone else. Usually it's him. Right? So when I got in the car, come out the garage, and while I'm just sitting on my little bit of sort of ground straight outside the garage, I've got Reach Up here on the actually tune-in radio I used. Although I could have just used the interweb, the web, Safari, and get on Safari, press play, and it just starts playing. It hooks up to your Bluetooth. You've got it coming through the car speakers, just the same as listening to FM or DAB radio. Easy. Oh. And of course, it's all over the world. People in America play Reach on Air, and they're listening to it on a smart speaker or on the phone in their car. It's fantastic, and that's the difference it's made. But the schedule is so busy now. It's difficult to get the slot that you want. I came back in November, and you may remember then I booked one show, and I thought, go on, let's try this out again. This is after my little episode at the end of October when I wasn't very well. But while I was like that, I thought, I'd do something else, and it was Ross Patel that convinced me to do it. I thought I'd try one, and I thought, my God, you've missed this, haven't you? And then I booked random shows, and I requested a slot, and I requested the 10 to 11 slot, which is the one I used to do. And I eventually got it. You can't have these things immediately. So you request it, and they either say yes or no. And I said, yeah, okay, but you can't have it immediately. Because other people, I think it's up to 2 weeks ahead you can book a show if you're not a regular person on Reach on Air, right? So for 2 weeks you've got, you can book other shows, right? Say 11, 7 p.m. I did it 11 p.m. all over the place. They were 8 a.m. all over the place. While you're waiting for the dates to move through, so that those people that have booked that 10 o'clock show, they don't lose. They don't get it taken off them and given to you. That would be really unfair. And I wouldn't like that anyway. In fact, I did put that in my message when I requested, not told, requested the 10 o'clock slot. And they said, yeah, okay. I said, I wouldn't want to, please don't give me any one slot. And they said, no, it doesn't actually work like that anyway. What you have to do is wait for those shows to be done. And then eventually you start slotting in. And then eventually it's yours. Do you see what I mean? Yeah? And I was kind of happy with that. Except it was finishing at 11 in the morning, and I think, and then I was going for, I'm not having lunch till like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because of course I go for those 2-hour walks, weren't I? And it was then that the bloke who was doing 9 o'clock, now who is that now? Oh, it was Swishy. Swishy, funnily enough, who's now doing 10 o'clock. The 9 o'clock bloke decided to come out of that slot because he'd set up a new business, DJ Swishy. I think it's T-shirt printing and that sort of thing. There's a few people do that, isn't there? So he's trying to make a business of that. So he cancelled all his shows. And I saw this. I saw this come up on his Facebook. And I thought, do you know what? I think I might like that 9 o'clock slot. Right, okay. So he had that 9 o'clock slot as permanent, as I had the 10 o'clock slot as permanent. Right. So as soon as I saw it, I messaged, I think it was Craig. I said, I noticed that DJ Swishy, I think it was, I'm sure it was Swishy, has the 9 o'clock slot. He's giving it up. Is there any chance you can move me from 10 till 9? And they said yes. So that's how I ended up with the 9 o'clock slot. And once again, there was a couple of odd ones that had been pre-booked. So, because he was leaving the 9 and he was the regular person, all these were all his already. So when he came out, immediately they all became empty. So very quickly I was able to move from 10 till 9, like in the space of a couple of days. And it was just 1 or 2 that were pre-booked by other people. But, and that's how that happened. Okay? But I would I'd quite like. I would like to do 2 hours, but it would be 8 to 10, not 10, not 9 till 11. Because at 11 o'clock is a little bit late if you want to do other things, you know. And as I say, I like doing other things. I would do 8 till 10, if it became available. At the moment, it's not. There's too many people on there, and I quite like doing it. I would like to do 2 hours, but there's so many people out there, and it's a bit unfair when you're doing X number of hours and other people can't even get one bleeding slot. So no, not at the moment. But yeah, I would like to. Maybe in the future, perhaps when the lockdown is over, it might happen that some of these people go back to work again, because probably a lot of people have been furloughed, or those poor people have got no money at all. You know, it's just one of those things. And that's how that works, all right? So thanks for your remarks there. Maybe in the future at some time. I think at the moment it's the lad Clive does the 8 o'clock show at the moment, doesn't he? Shania says, waiting for something to fall down like your mirror ball did years ago. Why do you want that to happen? Nearly knocked me out. Seriously, you don't know that, do you? It's got to be about 6 years ago now, but Adam would know. This mirror ball behind me, I was sitting here doing the show and the thing just fell off. Nearly knocked me out. What had happened, it was held up by a piece of wire, right? And it had literally worn out. This wire just gave way and the mirror ball nearly dropped on my head. I could be dead, dear. No one cares. No one cares. So thank you much, Built in Scotland, for that there. Hello to Glenda. Good evening, Glenda. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing well. Happy early Valentine's Day. Oh, there won't be any cards here as usual, Glenda. I don't get any cards. Valentine's, there'll be no cards, no chocolates, nothing. Nothing. You know, not even Mark Bowles will turn up with everything, no doubt. Okay, where are we? Oh, there's Mike. Power flicker. Had the same in Brighton. Oh, we must be coming off the same generator then. Same generator. Alan does the late night show tonight. He's on at 12. He says, these so-called proper radio stations are pretty much no good to work for these days. No, they're not. They're not. Vast majority is voice tracking, which hold no interest whatsoever to me. Me neither. It's just a job, Alan. It's not a love anymore. You talk to all these people from years ago. Dave Lee Travis, Tony Blackburn, Jan, what's her name? You know, lovely lady on radio. All these people, it is a passion. They love what they're doing. If you're just turning into a studio for half an hour a day, reading out little bits of speech for some engineer to slot in between the records, what is the point? This is something you do because you love doing it, whether it's the radio show or this. And if you don't want to be doing it anymore, you need to stop. You know, these people are making loads of money. They're all off the Blue Moon telly now, aren't they? They've been on the telly. All these so-called it's not radio to me. It's a glorified blooming jukebox. That's all it is now. Unless you're listening to something like Reach on Air. There's another one that you might like, Alan. I don't know if you know it. Offshore Music Radio, it's called. I was on there for a while. Nice jingles. Offshore Music Radio. And again, on there, that tends to be people that are passionate for music. For some reason, it's mainly blokes. I don't know why that is. There are a few ladies around doing stuff like that, but mainly blokes for some reason. But you've got to really be into it. And I honestly think it comes across if you're into it. If you're just sitting there and doing it as a job to satisfy some bloke who's in an office, oh, how long did it spoke for 11 seconds. Can you make that 10 seconds next time? What's the point? What's the point? You've got to be loving it. And I think if you love it, it comes across. It comes across. Alan says, looking at the schedule for Reach on Air, there are no slots at all between 7 a.m. and 2 a.m. right through until mid-March. There you go, you see. I told you it was busy. Seems to be a victim of its own success. Even a lot of the overnight slots are filled with pre-recorded stuff now, says Alan. See, with the pre-recorded stuff, Alan, it's okay if you sit there and enjoy the show with everyone else. As in, put the headphones on, talk and listen to the music. That to me, so whether it's recorded, okay, I think you do lose a little bit of a spark when you do it recorded. There's a certain spark when you're doing it live because you never really know what's going to happen. I mean, the lights might go up in the next 10 seconds, you know, or something might explode next to me. I don't know. A flash of bolt of lightning might come out there. You know, who knows? You know, I could be broken into tonight. You know, like it could be 10 lads dressed in grey tracksuits who smash down my door and come into this room and attack me. And you'd see it all. I mean, sometimes I leave that door open all night long. Nothing happens. Never mind. Anyway, don't know how we got onto that subject there. It's not even in my little things to talk about. We've been here an hour now. I haven't done any of the stories on the list, have I? Never mind. But no, I really don't think I would enjoy being on normal. It's not normal. Wait, it's FM radio. It's either FM radio, DAB radio, or medium wave radio, all very similar, or internet radio. We are on internet radio, and it's going to have its day. It's blooming well going to have its day at some point. I'm convinced of that. Or you can sit there and listen to Capital Radio. And Roman Kempy's all right. It's not my sort of thing. It just kind of shouts at you, and it's all a bit fake. See, I don't like these other shows. You know, where they have a girl and 2 boys, or 2 girls and a boy, or whatever, 3 people on there. Why are there 3 people on there? I always remember Tony Blackburn. A while ago, he was doing this show on one of the commercial stations, I think, possibly in the morning somewhere. I don't know, Country Gold or something like that. Not Capital Gold. Maybe one of the gold stations. And there was a woman with him, right? She was okay, but it just didn't work. He doesn't need anyone sitting next to him. Why would he need a co-presenter? And I don't like, they call it, I think, the zoo format, don't they? Well, they've got like a couple of presenters in the studio, and every now and again they laugh. But nothing funny's happened. And there must be a little light in front of them. Laugh now. Listen, there's no talent there. None. It's awful. Hello to Fran Green. She says, that's what I always say. Sorry, Fran. I'm still having a little bit of trouble with this until it's fixed. That's what I always say and advertise on Facebook. It's Brill. Reach on air. She loves it, Fran. She absolutely loves it. Hello to Vera. Hi, Chris. It's my birthday on Sunday, Valentine's Day. Thank you, V. Oh, V. Hang on, V. I know V. Vera. Hang on a minute. You're the girl that comes to karaoke with Paul? It's got to be you, is it? Is it you? V? Tell me, text me back and let me know if it is. If that's you, I'll add you to the text thing. I'm sure it's got to be Vera from Central Station. Is it you? Oh, you wonderful lady. If it's you, I've got to tell you, V, I used to be so annoyed because she didn't like her ears touched. I'd wait till she had her back turned, sitting at a table in the pub, and I'd pinch her ears. I've been doing that for years. Ever since I was a child, actually. Is it you, Vera? It is. Hello, Vera. And it's her birthday on Sunday, Valentine's Day. Happy birthday for Sunday, darling. All right. Oh, how wonderful to see you come here. That's blooming. I'm so pleased you're there, Vera. Welcome, darling. We're all missing the karaoke, aren't we, eh? It's horrible, isn't it? I don't know what will happen when the pubs, and they will when the pubs eventually reopen. So if you know anyone that wants an aging karaoke host once a week, do let us know, Vera. All right, my love, I'll be ready to go. Okay, some stories then, and you saw the picture advertising the show tonight of a crowd of people. Now that picture was taken at the BBC Radio Soul Night Out. About 3 years ago, that was. It's something I've been to 3 of them now, and they're generally once a year, but they weren't last year for obvious reasons, for the COVID, and the year before they couldn't do it either because the venue which holds it, Coco's in Clapham, in Camden Town, was being all done up. So we haven't been there for a couple of years now, and I can't believe... This is where time goes so quickly, doesn't it? We often talk about that on this show. Time just flies past. And I cannot believe it's 3 years since the last Radio London Soul Night Out. It's all run by Tony Blackburn. And you go in there and they have soul artists on the stage. And I've seen wonderful artists on there. I've seen The Real Thing, Shack Attack. No, I lie. Shalamar. There it is. Oh, hang on a minute. No, Shack Attack. I always get confused between the two. Shack Attack, the real thing. I've seen Lamar. And they had, I think it was Alexandra Burke last time. She didn't go down well at all. She did an acoustic set. Which kind of it just did not fit in with the night at all. There was nothing wrong with her. It just didn't fit in. It's like, I don't know, it's like going into, oh, that might sound offensive if I say that. It's like, I can't think of an analogy now. Isn't that funny? But it just didn't fit in. She was doing the wrong thing. It's like an Audi shopper going into Waitrose. I mean, you don't really want to see that, do you? Do you know what I mean? There they are, walking in there in their old tracksuit bottoms and dirty old trainers in Waitrose, dear. It doesn't work, and it didn't work for her. But I've seen some really good. Alexander O'Neill, he was there last time, and he waved at me because I saw him on the side of the stage. And was I on my own or was I with some? No, I was with a friend. And I banged him. I said, there is Alexander O'Neill. And he was up there. He's an old boy now. And he looked down and he saw me look up while I was pointing. And he went like that. He said hello to me. And I touched him. Because they usually come to the front of the stage and you can hold hands and things like that. I wouldn't let go of Lamar. He had to pull his hand right back. Oh, it's gorgeous. Tight trousers and everything. It was very exciting. So, the Radio London signed that out. And things like that. And they are events with lots of people standing next to each other. I mean, squeezed. Especially if you're like me, you're standing at the front of the stage. You're constantly being pushed and jostled a little bit. But that's okay. It's all part of the fun. And it's the same with concerts. Even Barry Manilow concerts. Okay, for most of the concert, we are kind of sitting down. But as soon as a dance number comes on, like Copacabana or something like that, we don't sit down on the chairs. Good God, no. Certainly not. We're up, mate. We're up. Standing up, joining in. Dancing. And again, a little bit of jostling going on as you're dancing. It's to be expected. Gatherings. Football matches. Any of you boys go to football matches? I know some of you like it. My nephew goes. Both nephews go to football matches. Great nephew Harry, he loves football. Okay, other sporting events, horse racing and all that. Lots of people closely packed together. And the thing is this going to come back? Because they tell us this virus thing is around for a long time. It's in the sun. In the sun today. In the sun a couple of days ago, actually. Large crowds at sporting events and big weddings may not return for years. For years. In order to stop further COVID outbreaks, experts have warned. Tim Spector, a professor of genetic epidemiology at King's College London, said social distancing measures and masks may be kept far beyond current lockdown measures despite the vaccine rollout. So he's saying we can go out, but there might be some things that we just can't do anymore. You can't fathom it in your head, really, can you? That the possibility of not actually being able to do stuff that we used to take for granted may not come back. Going to a theatre. I mean, some of those theatres in London, they're very beautiful, but they're also very blooming uncomfortable. I went to see Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and we were up in a circle. And we were right at the front. Right at the front. And right in front of us was the end, the brick wall. My God, was it uncomfortable. You couldn't move your knees. There were so many blooming seats. I hated it. Absolutely hated sitting there. Right. Well, how can you have so many people jammed in like that in one room? The horse racing event, Cheltenham Festival, sparked fury last year as tens of thousands of people gathered despite the emergence of the virus and with a national lockdown called just days later. He said today, I can't see us having massive weddings with people coming from all over the world. I think for the next few years, these days are gone. And years ago, I used to DJ at people's weddings, mobile disco, turn up wedding. Loads of people in a big hall. I've at both ends of the Scout. Really posh hotels I've done. I've also done Scout huts. It's all the same to me. It's just another job. You can't. How can you have that now? For years, you may not be able to have that. This bloke says, I think we need to get used to it. And that will allow us to do the things we really want to do more easily and more readily. So you'll be able to go down the shop. You'll be able to go swimming, I suppose. But this whole social distancing thing and masks may stay for some time, he's saying. Forever? Who knows? He did give some hope to the hospitality industry, calling for reopening, said actually sometimes a beer garden is more controlled than people's homes and gardens. And that's fair comment. But the trouble is who controls these things, you know. You can't expect young bar people, girls and boys, to walk around telling middle-aged people, I mean, I'd be okay. Sorry, sir, could you put... Yeah, no problem. But you know what some people are like in pubs? And they're usually either alpha males or youngish women. They're a bloody nightmare. The older males, sort of my age, 40 plus, want to go out there and do what they want. I'll do what I want when I want. And then you'll get the mask deniers. I've got a condition, so I can't wear a mask, that lot. They don't want to do what they're told. And they want to bend the rules to suit their own lifestyles. Don't they? And then you've got the girls. The young girls. And I've always said to you, all the years I've been DJing and doing karaoke, lads, you get a little bit of trouble with lads, you just go over and have a word in their ears. All right, lads, you're going to have to calm it down a bit, boys. Otherwise, the doorman's going to come over and chuck you out. Oh, okay, mate. They usually, 9 times out of 10, sorry, mate, like that. Not the girls. They will stand out and argue till they're blue in the blooming face. Don't know why it is. Not the older ones, the younger ones. They will stand there and moan and argue and it's their right and all this old crap. So you cannot expect young bar staff, 18, 19, 20, to control these sort of people. This is the problem, you see. And it goes on. So, I mean, will this ever come back? And it's an enormous shame, I think. An enormous shame. You and I have done it. We've done it. We've gone to nightclubs. I really want to... I know this sounds stupid. I haven't been to a nightclub for years. We're talking 20 years is the last time I went to a nightclub. And I really want to go now. And you're thinking, oh, he's a bit old to go to a nightclub. Here, listen, in the gay world, every day is party day. The party never stops. It's all right for you old blokes. Got married, have your children now, and it's all over for you, isn't it, really? There you are now, sitting at home watching this crap. Why? Not for the gay world. We go on and on and on, dear. Every day is a party. And I could go to any club now and it'd be all right. Just dancing away quietly in the corner. Okay, perhaps no one will launch themselves at me for a snog, but I'll be okay in there dancing. Don't want to bother me. It's fine. And I really want to do that at the moment. That being said, I did it for years. Probably you did as well. I'm sure you've been to 1 or 2 nightclubs, pubs and things like that. Great. But it makes me sad that younger people now, there are now people who have turned 18 who still haven't been to a club or a pub yet because they can't go now. And they're missing out. That makes me really sad. And even when it's all over, a lot of these clubs have gone to the wall, mate. They can't afford to wait. They've gone. Pubs as well. All gone. Sad, isn't it? Do you remember going to clubs? What was your favourite club to go to? Do you want to tell me? I'll open the phone line. You can tell me if you want. 0208 144 3477. Lines are open now. Only an hour and a quarter after we started the show, but better late than never. 0208 144 3477. Okay. Let's have a look. Paul's doing a Valentine's show at 9 o'clock on Reach on Sunday. Well, good luck with that, mate. There's no love here. No love for me. Hello to Stephen Petty. Just stopped for a break on the M62. Won't be too much of a late night tonight. Hope you're well and safe. Thank you, Stephen. All well here. Fran says, I love soul, Lamar and Alexandra O'Neill and criticise. That one, innit? Criticise Alexandra O'Neill. Jealous of you as well as club music. So thanks for that. I just like music. Yeah, me too, Fran. Oh, Fran. And Fran says, let's have a look. Thank you very much. Gary Ross has sent a £5 super chat. Thank you, Gary. There you go. He's enjoying the show so much he sent a £5 super chat. Thank you, Gary. You're very kind, darling. Very kind to this poor old man. It was I nearly had to turn our computer off then. It was getting so low. I can hear that meter going around now. Eh? Let's take a call then. George Bond's on the line. Good evening, George.
Gary.
Oh, dear.
Hello.
What's going on, George?
Let me just meet that.
Hello.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Hello, George. All right?
Yes. Oh, froze.
Who's froze?
There you go. I can hear you now.
Are you on a Skype
Well,
or something? Don't sound very good.
Yeah, I'm on Skype. I thought I'd try Skype for a change.
Oh, right. Okay. How are you then, darling? What clubs have you been to in the past? Any?
I've been quite a lot, actually.
What ones have you been to, or concerts, anything like that?
Well, I can't... Well, you know what? I was a stormtrooper.
Yeah, oh, yes, a stormtrooper, like in Star Wars, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I was in this dance group called Boogie Storm.
Right.
As a few your viewers know this. And... But it's like basically, I explained to your viewers, it's like a stormtrooper,
right?
And you dance.
It's like a stormtrooper and what?
And you dance to music.
You dance, okay, yes.
And there was some Britain's Got Talent, and there's Simon Cowell's Golden Buzzer,
right?
And stuff like that. And we used to go to like people's parties and events and stuff like that.
Was it like concerts and things like that? Have you been to as well?
Yeah.
What ones have you been to? Concerts?
Blackpool, Liverpool.
Yeah, but who did you go and see?
Oh, we was dancing. We was the person dancing to them.
Oh, yes. Have you seen any artists in concert, like Rihanna or someone like that?
No.
You haven't been to anything? What about nightclubs where they play music? Have you been to that?
Yes, I've actually been to a nightclub, actually. A theatre, and it's called That Be The Day.
That'll Be The Day. Oh, that sounds like a rock and roll thing, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. And you enjoyed that?
Yes.
What songs did they sing?
Buddy Holly, the Cricketers, the Shadows.
Right.
What else? Cliff Richards.
Oh, Cliffy Baby, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, Cliff Richards. Was he actually on there?
No.
Oh, just playing his music, were they? Would you like to sing us a Cliff Richard music song now, please?
I just know this one. All I think. The young ones. They're the young ones. And the young ones should be afraid to live the love. What famous wrong? Cause me up the young ones never.
Yeah, I love it, George. I love it, George. I haven't pressed my Xbox. I have an Xbox here. You know, like they have on Britain's Got No Talent. I've got a box here with an X on it and I haven't pressed it, which means you're through to the next round. Yeah, baby. Do try and sound a little bit more excited by that, dear. Thanks for calling, George. Have a nice day, darling.
Yeah.
Bye-bye now. There's George calling in. Always nice to hear George. You want to call in tonight? Please feel free. 020 8144 3477. As always, gang, remember, it's not a premium rate number. It's just a normal, local London number. 020 8144 3477. Vera texts in. She remembers going to the London Astoria, which I went to probably... no, actually, you're not... Are you similar age to me? I can't remember now. I would have gone to the London Astoria years ago. I mean, years ago. I think before Jeremy Joseph ran it, it was just called Bang then at some point. Have you been to any concerts? Anything like that? Theatres you want to talk about? Do call us 0208 144 3477, or just nightclubs. I mean, back in the 80s, I used to go out to the Hammersmith Palais with my friend David, who's actually Martin's brother. You know Martin, my sister's husband? Dave is his brother. And we used to go to the Hermes Palais on I think a Friday or a Saturday night, one of those two. And I had a flat in Wandsworth at the time. We used to walk back from there. So I would have been 23. So let me see, 23, 63, 73, 83, 84, about 1986, something like that. They also did Radio London Soul Nights out there, and it was on every week then. On Thursdays, it was either at, well, they did it at different places. They did Hammersmith Palais, which of course no longer is there now. If you go there looking for the Hammersmith Palais, I'm afraid all you'll find is student blocks of flats, which look really expensive, to be honest. But they wish they hadn't built those now. Won't be anyone in there at the moment, will there? But all gone. You know, they also used to do it at Coco's, where it is now, when it's on. The National Theatre in Kilburn and the Empire in Leicester Square. And again, me and David went to the Empire in Leicester Square, and that was good. He used to pull girls. I never used to have much luck with girls. I don't know why. Just one of those things. I used to come home alone. Never mind. Nobody wants me. Nobody wants me. Why is that? Isn't that strange and mysterious? And then later on, of course, Heaven. That's probably the first gay club I ever went to, Heaven. And I used to do a mobile disco on a Friday night at a place called The Stag in Battersea. The landlady there, her name was... Christ, her name's just disappeared out my head. Oh, that's terrible, because she was a lovely lady. Pam Reynolds. Pam Reynolds was her name. She used to be the landlady of this place that I DJ'd at. A mobile disco. So, you know, transit van, turned up, set my stuff up, played the music. And she used to say, oh, it's... Play the oldies. That's all she could say. And of course, she was quite right. And I finished there, load up my van, and drive down to Heaven and dance there. And the very first record I remember ever hearing in Heaven was Black Box, Ride on Time. You'll know that one. Gotta get up, gotta get up, gotta get up. And they were playing stuff like Numero Uno. Do you know that one? Numero Uno and The Real Wild House. That was another one. Do you remember music in clubs? 0208 144 3477 is my phone-in number. Also, going back a little bit further, when I was working at British Telecom, the girls used to go out regularly on a Saturday night, and the place we used to go to was in Streatham, called the Cat's Whiskers. Cat's Whiskers in Streatham. And this was a nice club, although they had a speaker that was out of order for ever such a long time. And if you sat near it, it was the most awful sound coming out of this speaker. And they were hanging from the ceiling, these speakers. And the stage, they had this great big circular turntable type thing of a stage, you see. And the whole thing would turn around. And on one side would be the DJ, and on the other side would be a band playing covers, you know. And songs I remember there were Wham, Bad Boys, and Young Guns. No, sorry, Young Guns Go For It. He used to play that one. I might play that tomorrow morning, actually. Let me write that down. Let's play that tomorrow morning. Where is it? Young Guns. That's what we're going to play that tomorrow morning. Young Guns, having some fun. That one. And also Break My Stride, Matthew Wilder. Two particular songs that I remember always hearing at this place. And then after a while, the whole stage would turn around. And then the other stage would be a band playing covers, and it all worked really well. So just a few places that I've been over the years there. All right, let me just check my emails there. Okay, don't forget you can email as well if you want to, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, or text 07551 259 675. And I just think it's incredibly sad that young people are just not able to do the things that I used to do. Because we had a whale of a time. Party. Where are these people now? What are they doing now at home? Sitting there playing Xboxes, and they... Oh, I don't know. They think they're having a good time sitting there in front of a computer playing an Xbox. And I just don't see it. I mean, admittedly, I've never really been into computer games. Tennis, then Pac-Man, and that was about it. one of those things. But not only nightclubs and theatres and things like that. There's also the whole holiday thing going on, isn't there? You know, I know it sounds stupid. I don't like travelling. I hate it. I hate the mucking around at the airport. Sitting on that plane for hours on end. I hate it. That being said, I have been to some wonderful places over the world. All over. Caribbean, Australia, Italy. That's a lovely place, Italy. Israel, fantastic holiday in Israel. You see it all there. All this religious stuff. And everything else, you know, the Dead Sea and floating away in a Dead Sea. Oh, I've just been to some Cyprus, of course, more recently. I should have gone last year. Well, did I go in March? Can't remember now. No, I don't think I went at all last year. The idea was, because my sister, my niece and her husband have been stationed there for 3 years. Okay, and the whole idea was I would go at least twice a year. And in the first year I did. And then the virus came. So last year I didn't go at all. I like Cyprus. It's very slow. Do you know what I mean? When you're going around, everyone takes their time. It's nice. And in Limassol, the seafront there is just lovely. Walking along that road next to the sea. Can't do any of it. And these people will miss out on that, wouldn't they? Rachel says, can you give a big shout out to... Oh, why does that keep happening? 1 minute. To my 2 daughters who are watching today, Martina and Leona. Tell them to go to bed. What time do you call this, girls? How old are they? Why are you still up at this time of night? I'm nothing worth watching. Honestly, I'm not. Go to bed. If you can't sleep, take me up on a mobile phone, put me on in the corner of your bedroom, listen to me, and I'm guaranteed to send you to sleep within about 3 seconds. Yeah. Hello, Leona and... What's the other one? Leona and Martina. That's a lovely name, Martina, isn't it? Good evening, girls. George says, what do you play your music on when you're on Reach On It? On the computer. Computer plays it all. There's no CDs or anything anymore. They went years ago. But just going on to holidays there. Again, people going on holidays. Now, young people, they like to go on their first holiday together, don't they? In my day, it was Ibiza. I went to Ibiza only once, and I always said, oh, we'll have to come back here. Never went. I went to Gran Canaria a few times. Out of the 2, probably Ibiza is the nicer place, I would say. And the last time I went to Gran Canaria was a long time ago. And I always used to take my laptop with me. And it was funny, really. I because I was quite well known on the gay music scene here at the time. Not so much now. It was then. 90s and 2000s, really. I always had my laptop with me with my music on it, or CDs, whatever. I used to take CDs around with me, just in case anyone asked. And I was in my hotel room. It wasn't like a stack hotel. It wasn't like a block hotel. It was like more of a little resort type thing. And the phone rang. Hello, is that Chris? I said, yeah. Chris Reardon? Yeah. Oh, hello, it's so-and-so. I own a club here. And I know of you, and I'd heard you was on the island. Have you got your music with you? And I said, yeah, would you like to come and do a couple of nights for us? So I did that. And it was great, really. I did this club called XXL. I did it about 3 nights, and I got paid. Not a vast amount of money, but it was nice. It was nice to have been somewhere. It's never about the money. Never. This show, not about any money. Well, it wouldn't be, would it? Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Even the DJ. It was never about the money. But to go somewhere... And I get a phone call like that. Oh, hello. I know of it. Would you like to come and do a couple of nights? We can advertise you because people will know you. How fantastic is that? And I did this I think I got about 30 euros or 40 euros. Something like that. But it's all right. It's okay. It was the experience. But it was on until 6 in the morning. And it was wonderful, really. I used to come out of this club, XXL it was called, and walk up these stairs. And you could get a taxi back, but I never did that. So it would have been, maybe it wasn't 6 in the morning. Maybe more like 4 in the morning, 4 or 5, I don't know anyway. But anyway, by this time, most people have gone from the club anyway, so I finished the job. And I walked up the stairs, I walk home, and you walk home, and of course, you're in a T-shirt, because it's not cold. You got your T-shirt and shorts and a couple of bags of records, and I just walked back. It was about half hour, 40 minutes, and you go down this really steep hill and round the corner. pitch black at night, you know. In fact, it was so hot I took my t-shirt off while I was walking home, 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. That was great. And I went back another year, and the same thing happened, except this time it was they had their version of Heaven, the nightclub that's here over there. I think they paid the people at Heaven a certain amount of money to use their name, so they had that there as well. And I did that place as well. So lovely experience, really. But doing all these things, there's young people out there now that really, really want to go to a nightclub, and they can't. They want to go to a pub, and they can't. There's plenty of people out there who have never done this now because they've come of age in this time, and I think that's incredibly sad. All right, they don't have the music that we had, but they got their own sort of music. It's not for us, is it? And all that blooming R&B stuff, where they all sit there all night long. Oh, let's take another selfie. Let's take another selfie all the time. But they can't do any of it. Or go on holiday at the moment. The Daily Mail reports Boris Johnson heaped more confusion on hard-pressed Britons and the travel industry by refusing to say if they can go on holiday or not. There's a bloke on the telly today. I don't even need to read that story, actually. Did you see him on the telly today? Don't be very careful booking a holiday. That's what he's saying. Which is a bit of a blow to the holiday people, really, because they get no money. How on earth they are surviving, I don't know. I feel particularly sorry for a company called Hays Travel, Hays. Do you remember them? They weren't that well known, but Thomas Cook folded and they took them over. They took over Thomas Cook. I don't know what they bought or what they paid, but they took them over in, just before this virus thing. And then so they must have spent some money. And then suddenly this virus has come. So I don't know how these places are managing to roll over. I have been here in Bracknell in town, where I'm not going really at the moment, but occasionally on a walk. If I look, I'll have a look through the building. If it's not too busy, I'll walk that way on my daily exercise thing, which I haven't been doing for 5 days. I feel terribly bad. I was going to go for a walk today after I've been down the shops, but it was so cold out there, and I thought, I can't be bothered to do this today, so I didn't go. And I might walk through the town. That's on one of my longer walks. And there's little postcards in the shop windows. 2022 holidays available now. And the reason they're because they're not usually available, are they? Not a year or more in advance like that. Christ. The reason they're available is because you would then pay a deposit, which gives them a bit of money, if enough people are doing it, to just let them hold on. How the hell are they doing it? The money that must be being lost. The money. Buses and trains driving around. There's no one on them. It's very, very expensive to run a train line. Very expensive. As you know from the price of the tickets. The money they must be losing. You couldn't make it up, could you? Fran says, I hate packing cases to go on holiday. Usually stress out and can't. We hire somebody to pack for us. Do you really do that? I'm not surprised, Fran. I get really stressed before holidays. Really stressed. To the point, and if my mate was sitting here now, he would tell you, to the point of almost cancelling the holiday. To the day. The day before, I'm all over the place. I'm in pieces. Really, I'm in absolute pieces when I'm about to go on holiday, especially if it's far away. Packing bags and what if I forget the tickets? What if I go? That's why I don't like travelling. I don't. What if I break down on the way to the airport? What if this? What if that? And if you're taking your car, then you have to get that little bus from the car park to the blooming place. I mean, to be honest. When you're in somewhere like Gatwick Airport, I seem to fly from a lot. If you go for Gatwick Airport and the whole car or whatever, Heathrow, Gatwick, doesn't matter. The whole bus to car thing does actually work quite well. You park in your car park wherever it is, and then you go to a designated place where the bus is supposed to stop. And every 10 minutes, this bus comes on. You get on with your case and off you go and all that. I just hate it. Can't stand it. Anyway, so that's going out and holidays. Have you ever swallowed anything you shouldn't have swallowed? Pardon? Either now or perhaps as a child. In the Metro, this story came up a few days ago. A man who woke up struggling to breathe was stunned when it turned out he'd swallowed an AirPod. The little earbud things. How the hell do you swallow an AirPod? I reckon I know how he's done this. This bloke is 38, knew something had gone wrong after he was left gagging while attempting to drink a glass of wine after waking up early on Tuesday morning. It would emerge that one of his tiny wireless headphones, you know those little things, the ones that I've got from Amazon, only cost £25. The tiny wireless headphones had become wedged in his throat, in his oesophagus. That's the food pipe, right? See, I'm a biology expert here. In his oesophagus, causing his throat to fill up with water, leaving him feeling like he was choking. He was able to recover, the water eventually spilling out of his mouth after he leaned over. Oh, that must be all like drowning in your own phlegm, would it? Despite this, Brad soldiered on through the day, not realising the severity of what had happened overnight, despite feeling a strange sensation in his chest, even tending to his snow-covered driveway following a severe blizzard. However, the pieces started to come together after family, including his wife, joked after helping look out for the missing earbud and hearing something was wrong with his throat, that maybe he had swallowed it. I mean, how the hell do you swallow? He must have had it in his ears in bed. He says, my wife mentioned it when I came in and we laughed about it, but something just clicked. And I got a weird sinking feeling that I'd swallowed an earbud in my sleep. At that point, I pussed around for another 10 minutes thinking about it, but we all determined it's better safe than sorry to go to hospital. So they went to hospital. It was quickly assessed. And they reckoned it was food from celebrations to mark his wife's birthday the previous night. But x-rays soon proved this wrong. He said it was pretty funny when she left the room. I could hear a bit of chatter outside. No, it couldn't be. Now, have you ever swallowed something accidentally? Do let us know. 02081443477. It says she came in, looks at me and said, I'm damned, you swallowed it. They were all jaws aslack looking at this x-ray on the screen where you could see it was in clear definition in earbud. Fortunately, she was able to get me right through an endoscopy centre they're affiliated with. So they got it out. But had I inhaled it, because of course it's gone down the food pipe. Yeah, have you ever swallowed like a pill or something and you thought, that's got... I listened to a bloke on the radio some time ago now. If you've swallowed a pill and you think, oh, that feels like it's got stuck, it probably is. And there's a very easy way of dealing with that. Eat a piece of bread. Because the bread, you chew it up, it swells up as it goes down, and it will pull the tablet down into the stomach where it's supposed to be, you see. Remember that. Okay? That might come in useful to you one day. He said, if I'd inhaled it or gotten lodged or constricted my airway, that could have certainly been significantly more serious. You don't have a lot of runaway. If you obstruct your breathing and something happens, who would even think that's what it was if you wake up? You know, you wouldn't think it would be an earbud, would you? Mind you, there's been a couple of times over the last few months that I kept swallowing. I'd have tea or something, you know, like that, and it would go down the wrong hole. It kept happening for a while, but it's stopped now for some reason. I wonder if that's like an illness of some sort, is it? So there we go. Don't put your earbuds in your ears when you're going to bed. Very dangerous, dear. Very dangerous. I'm sure there's one or two people who eat sweets in bed as well. That's even worse, isn't it? More chance of you falling asleep while you're laying there in bed or something like that, isn't there, eh? Terrible. Mike in Brighton, nightclubs. Loved my nightclub days. Heaven, Bang, GAY, Madame Jojo's. I only went there once. Do you remember the old bloke who used to look after the toilet attendant there? Old bloke he was. He told me he was Dolly DJ's sister. Do you remember him? He was really old. Nice bloke, though. He says, and Mike says, sadly, it seems all those days are over. And as you've said, many venues will not survive this pandemic. Well, if assuming they're still open at this point. I say open, still in business at this point. They're not open. You know, what ones have closed down that we used to go to now? Actually, no, I think the ones that are owned by Stonegate, you see, that's a large company with a lot of money behind them. So they can probably ride it out. But these single clubs that are owned by like one person, they must be hemorrhaging money. The clubs, like I say, the train firms, buses, so many places, shops. We've just lost a load of other shops, haven't we? Top Man, Burton. What's the ladies' one? Miss something or other? I don't know what it is. All those shops gone. I ain't coming back. Once something's gone, it's gone. Has Woolworths reappeared? Has Comet reappeared? And they didn't even have a virus then. None of these things come back. They come back as an online thing. Everything in a little box. Everything in a little box. Reflex in Putney. Now, that's another place I DJ'd at. Reflex in Putney. Funny old place that was. They wouldn't dance until Kylie Minogue came on. Seriously. They would not dance until Kylie Minogue came on. Anyway, Reflux in Putney with the Saturday Night Fever dance floor, which all lit up, was my favourite haunt for years. Like you, I worked there too. I would come home with loads of pieces of paper in my pocket with names and telephone numbers. Grinder killed that off. Yes. Yes, it did, didn't it? The only thing is with all these apps and that sort of thing, you see, the trouble is the mingers, sorry, I have to say this, the mingers used to get someone at the end of the night once everyone was a little bit drunk. With an app, they got no chance. If you wait till someone was a bit out of their head or drunk to chat them up, you had a bit of a chance in a club, not with an app. Dorothy Perkins, thanks so much. That's the other one there. Oh, you're joking. My mate's watching, Ronnie. Evening, dear. He's having his kitchen done at the moment. Hello, Ronnie. He says you're a nightmare going on holiday. How rude. I am. I told you I was. I'm terrible. By the way, if you've got anyone new who's joined us sort of in the last while and you're in the chat box sending me a message, I don't go into the chat box. I won't see your message. You have to text, okay? Just normal text number. It's not premium rate 07551 259 675, or indeed to use the email or call in, all right? Look at the clothes you wear alone when you... let alone the travel. I wear nice clothes on holiday, I'll have you know. You've seen how I dress to get on that plane in the club class, thank you. Jacket, nice jeans, nice shoes. Excuse me. I'm not a tramp when I get on the plane. Just here. What is the point? You want to see what I've got on today? I've got these old white tracksuit. Do you want to see them? What's the point in dressing up, hubby? You can't see it. Eh? We're creating an illusion here of beauty. Yeah, look. Where are we? Hang on. Look at these. Do you reckon Hugh Edwards wears these underneath the news desk? I think he does, doesn't he? 0208 144 3477 if you want to call in tonight. Pikey, how rude. Glenda says you and Ronnie should go out for Valentine's Day. I don't think so, darling. I don't think so. No, that was 30 years ago. It was about 28 years ago. 28 or 29. I did go out with Ronnie for a year. Oh, what a nightmare. And he dumped me! He dumped me! Oh, well. What else is he saying? If you're creating an illusion of you, you want to cover yourself with a bin bag. How rude. Rudeness. Is anyone going to fight my corner here for me? I'm being attacked here. No one cares. No one cares. Oh, Christ, I know who that number is. Oh, do I really want to take this? What?
What do you mean, what?
What?
What do you mean, what? I want to be on the radio.
You're not on the radio, darling. You're on the television.
It's not the television. It's a vlog, and it's on the internet.
It is
Internet vlogger.
This is a television programme with millions of viewers all over the world.
There's not. You've actually got 29 because I looked before I came on.
You know more than me because I don't look at the numbers, darling, while I'm doing this show.
It's a good thing you don't because you'd be very upset.
Now, are you sending me a super chat? Do you know how to do that? Can I give you instructions?
No, I'm not sending you any money.
Why is that then?
Because you've got loads of money.
There's no cash, dear. I've got no cash.
I gave you cash the other day.
Ah, yes, but that was for something else, dear.
Yeah, it's not the point, dear. You still have money. You have plenty.
Barely any cash. There's no cash. I'm making
Online
no.
begging.
There's no profit.
We'll have to start calling you Tom. Is it Tom? Tim. Tiny Tim with a crutch. Go out begging.
Tiny Tim?
Dickensian.
What, like in Dickensian?
You're hardly tiny.
In Dickensian? So do you want to tell us about your kitchen while you're there?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. Bye.
You spoke about my kitchen.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about holidays.
No, we were talking about holidays. Carry on then. Let's have a listen.
Oh, no. What do you want to know about my kitchen?
No, I just happened to mention I've told people that my mate's having his kitchen done at the moment, and it's a real mess.
It's not that it is that it's a mess. It's all about organisation, something that you've got not a clue in.
I am very organised. All my show has been carefully written out, properly on
pieces. You've got
pieces
nothing else to do, and it's a hobby. It's not like you've got somebody to do it for you.
I got staff here. Have you not seen my operators?
You've got operators?
Operators taking the calls. Can you see a screen from where you are?
No, you picked up and said hello.
Can you see a screen at all or not?
Well, no, I've actually darkened the screen because you're on it. And I was going to say, if you're trying to create an illusion, love, you need to put a bin bag over you.
All right, thanks ever so much, girls. Sorry, I'm just waving to the operators. Sorry?
There's no girls.
There's loads of... They're all sitting in the other room. I just put a picture of them up.
Chris, you don't like people.
Phone
you
operators.
Don't let anybody in your house.
Standing by.
I came round today and you sprayed me with Dettol.
What?
I came round today and you sprayed me with Dettol. I only came to drop something off.
Yes. That's because you'd come from the hospital.
Yeah, but I go to the Chelsea in Westminster. There's no viruses there, love.
Not the point, darling. If you're coming in this house,
those awful hospitals.
You get sprayed before you came in.
Yeah. That's just when you speak.
Holidays. Tell us. Where's your most favourite place that you've been?
Oh, most favourite, but well,
was it the Maldives?
It depends whether it's in the Western Hemisphere, the Eastern Hemisphere, Southern. I mean, it's just so many. Every place I've been to, I've enjoyed. Obviously, I love Las Vegas. When I went with Andy because we stayed in the Bellagio in a.
Excuse me, I took you for your birthday, didn't I, to Vegas? What was wrong with that?
We stayed in what all I could describe as a hotel was like an old movie star that wouldn't die. That was what I could compare it to. An old movie star that wouldn't die. So if you can imagine what an old movie star that wouldn't die looks like, that's the sort of hotel we stayed in. But when I was there with Andy, we stayed in the Bellagio. We had a suite. A corner suite overlooking everything. It was amazing. But then when we went to the Maldives, best one was, what was it called? Reethi. Where they had chefs on every station to cook your every delight, because I don't like spicy food. And everybody wants to put spices in everything. Why? It's disgusting.
Oh, we like chili, darling.
That
Now,
nice.
can I just go back to Vegas for a moment or two? The Flamingo Hotel, there was nothing wrong with that, dear.
It was ghastly. Absolutely ghastly. I can't believe. And we wasn't.
Well, it's not bad for a free bleeding holiday, though, is it?
Disneyland. No, wait a minute. We were supposed to go to Disneyland, but you swang it so that you could go to. Oh well, no, let's go to Vegas instead, so that you could go and see Barry Manilow. I was going to swear then, but I thought I better not, because you might go, oh, it's a family program.
It is a family program. Small children are watching this as we speak. They'll play this out in nurseries tomorrow morning, you know.
Not with you on it. You're Operation U-Tree.
How rude! My name's not Jimmy Savile, thank you very much.
More Gary Glitter.
Anyway, or Gary Glitter. I love you. Here, don't. My sister used to worship him. She had posters on the wall and everything, Gary Glitter.
Well, you tried to get on Jimmy Fix It just to get fiddled.
Just to get what? I must have been really ugly. They weren't interested in me.
No, you was too ugly as a child.
How rude. Rude, dear. There's nothing wrong with that Flamingo Hotel. And we went to concerts, didn't we? We had a lovely time there. How rude are you? Oh, by the way...
We did have a nice time there, apart from when we was actually in the hotel. it was awful, Chris. The carpets were sticky.
Yeah, I've just remembered something about that hotel. Do you remember the night the alarm went off, the fire alarm? What did we do? 3:00 in the
God.
morning. What did we do?
We just turned over and went back to sleep.
What's that noise, Ron? Oh, I don't know. It's just the alarm going off. Oh, right, okay.
Hopefully the hotel's burning down.
It wasn't just an alarm. There was a speaker telling us to leave the hotel rooms. And we just turned over and went back to sleep. I can't believe it. How stupid. I mean, fortunately, it was a fault, wasn't it? But still, I mean, it's a bit worrying.
Yeah, big fault that you actually booked that bloody hotel. Awful. Absolutely awful.
Well, it didn't cost you nothing. What are you moaning about? How ungrateful can you be?
It's not about being ungrateful. It's about you promised me something 25 years ago and didn't even take me to the place where you promised to take me. And you didn't even fly me business.
Well, you shouldn't.
I think was
perhaps
absolutely disgusting.
Perhaps you shouldn't have dumped me. Then you would have gone.
No. It had nothing to do with being dumped. It had nothing. And you have to bring that up, don't you? Just to say that you'd actually been out with me. You was my stepping stone, love. Just remember that. You was a nobody, just like you are now.
Sorry? Any horrible people. Have you got any texts from my mate that I can ring out, please? I see Fran has... what's this? Fran has put 31. Oh, I don't know what she means by that. It just says 31. Just says
no,
31.
Don't get that either. Unless
What that is. It might have been some, the trouble is, it might have been something else we were talking about, and then we've kind of gone past that.
Did you say that you put £6 on this week?
£6 on what? No, incorrect. 0.4 of a pound, bitch.
Oh, well, I'm not surprised. Well, I'm surprised it wasn't £6 because you ate that whole birthday cake to yourself.
I know. I've told everyone that. I've no secrets from my millions of viewers all over the world. Glenda in Pittsburgh.
Years.
Oh, I don't even want to read this out, Glenda. Please do I have to read that out? I love Ronnie. He's funny.
Thank you, Brenda. We like Brenda. See, this is what you need. You need a bit more humour in your shows. You sit there and try and be all serious, and you just can't be serious looking at you because you've got one of those faces that you want to slap.
There's a lot of humour in this programme. Thank you very much. An awful lot of humour.
No, but this is what
just so that people know
are totally different.
This is just so people know. This is my mate that I often talk about. Okay, this is what I put up with. He's not just like this on the phone. He's like this when I see him.
Best friend.
See, and he likes to look for faults and things like that.
Friend.
Looking for faults.
No, I don't. It's like when you smell. If I don't tell you, no one else will. They just laugh behind your back when you smell.
I never smell.
Quite often.
I never smell.
You stink sometimes. You do. Rude. You stink. You reek. Especially when you've had that Camp Vile stew.
Oh, it's lovely.
God, the house stinks.
It's lovely, that is. Nice and spicy.
Disgusting. Not everybody likes spice. This is the thing. Why do you have to put spices in everything?
Because it's nice.
You know? But it's not. Not everybody likes spice.
Well, unlucky. We'll go and have something somewhere else.
You don't like meat.
Take yourself off to McDonald's.
You don't eat meat. Imagine going to the supermarket, or that one that you go to, and everything had meat in it. You'd be really annoyed, wouldn't you? It's the same as me when I go to the supermarket, Waitrose, and it's all got spicy food. It's all got spices in it. It's disgusting.
Beautiful. Awful. Spices. Jason Hughes says, I can't believe this.
You look the way you do.
Look at this. Jason Hughes, what a great bloke Ronnie is. Talks sense.
Oh, thank you, Jason. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you.
They've got something wrong with their ears tonight, these people. Dreadful. Well, and George Bond says...
Maybe you should have me on the show
Excuse me. Can I just read this
out?
George Bond, I love... Shut up! George Bond, I love you, Chris. You're funny. Thank you very much.
George Bond. Nope, another one I've never heard of.
So rude. So rude.
Thank you. I'm going now.
Funnily enough, before you go... I was talking on Monday night. The subject came up about board games and things like that, and Did
you take a breath? Since, or have you just carried on talking all the way through?
I've been speaking for years now without actually stopping. When I finish a show, I don't stop talking, as you well know.
No, we know.
As you well know, when you're trying to watch one of the programmes that we have on the telly sometimes, although that hasn't happened recently. Leslie Ross says, evening, Chris. You have a lovely face and very good sense of humour. Don't tell anyone. Let anyone tell you different.
You must have a sense of humour to have a face like that.
What a vile man, Ronnie. I love you too,
Thank
Chris.
You.
Thank you. There you go.
Thank you.
She hates you.
Thank you.
She bleeding hates
Thank
you.
you.
Good. Along with everyone else.
Not everybody hates me.
Darling, can we just go back to holidays, please, for a moment? So we've done the Maldives. What is it about the Maldives you like?
Well, you can lay on the beach at 11 o'clock at night with the Indian Ocean lapping at your feet, and you can look up at the stars, and because there's no light pollution, you can see every single one. It's absolutely stunning. And the moon is just amazing. And because you're in a different hemisphere, the stars are different as well. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Are they the same stars as you get in Australia? Do you see the Southern Cross?
Probably different.
See the Southern Cross there or not? I don't know.
It's on the equator.
Doesn't matter. Go on.
Well, the only problem with the Maldives is when First Choice started flying there, that's when you started to get really, really awful people. But they go to the common islands. Rethie is not a common island. Tell the people to look up Rethie. It's amazing. Reethi, Rethie.
I wonder when this will all come back, because I don't know at what point you joined us tonight, but there's just people that they're now talking about maybe no holidays, and I wonder if any of these old places that, for example, you and I have flown to, whether there will be any flights there in the future, because these economies, a lot of these places, like the Maldives, I think you'll correct me if I'm wrong here, but don't the Maldives rely on foreign tourists for a lot of their income?
Tourism is most of their income. The atolls. There's hundreds and hundreds of islands, different islands. Obviously, you've got exclusive islands there, which cost tens and tens of thousands of pounds, which you would never be able to go to because they don't let your salt in. They're okay because they can survive. They'll have private jets and billionaires that go there. Right. It's the ones where First Choice sort of fly. The economy type people. Those ones that we we look at when we turn left and they turn right. If you're on an A380 and Emirates, you look down and they're walking along the concourse and you're in the bit upstairs. It's very nice.
So far up your own arse, you can't make it up, can you?
I'm not.
Have you done Thailand? Have you done Thailand?
Island?
Thailand,
yes, of course we've been to Thailand.
Where
Bangkok, and then we went to Koh Samui.
Cobra Kai. I'm watching that on the telly at the moment.
No, Koh Samui.
When are we going to go to karate? We've got to start going. Kick some heads in.
I'm not going to karate. Look, you look like more Mr. the Miyagi than the young lad.
No, if we go there for a few weeks, I reckon we'll be able to wear great tracksuits then.
No, you wear a great tracksuit now, and it looks like a pair of leggings on you.
Jason Hughes says, "Is there any chance we can have Ronnie doing one of your shows?"
Fantastic, love it.
Oh my God,
fantastic, love it. Yeah.
Oh
so you need more humour. You need a bit of banter. That's what you need.
Wow, unbelievable. They don't want me anymore, Ron. And Fran says, only friend. What about Adam the plumber? There's one of my friends, darling.
Yeah, but Adam the plumber. I won't remind you.
What are you not going to remind me of?
The doorway.
I don't know what you mean about a doorway, dear.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we'll skip over that one.
Are you talking about the poo pipe stories? You must be talking about the poo.
Malicious rumours about anybody.
The poo pipe stories. Poo pipes pouring out over him all over the place. Glenda says, "I think Ron is in love with you." Thus the funny comments.
No, I don't smile and I don't love.
And I
don't smile because it gives you wrinkles.
He doesn't smile at all. So how far are we into the kitchen now? How much longer has that got to be done?
Okay, so today, it's still going to be another 3 or 4 days. Another 3 or 4 days.
You had to empty out the room completely. Is your house... just tell us about your house at the moment, what it's like.
Well, no, it's just we're living upstairs. You've got no cooking facilities. You can't use it. No dishwasher.
Yeah.
No, can't wash it. You can't do any washing. And I daren't bring it round to yours because you wouldn't stop complaining. Because because I actually separate my washing from darks and coloureds. Can I say coloureds? Is that allowed?
You're not allowed to use that word on this
mix,
program.
dark,
Darks
mix,
and
and white. Hot wash.
We don't have a problem with Ofcom, and they can't do anything to us here. The worst thing people can do is just switch it off. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you know, and I mean, we managed to cook. I managed to cook something for dinner tonight, which is quite nice. But it's salad and stuff. I've got no hob yet because I've got an induction hob going in.
Isn't that what you had last time then?
We've now got to buy induction hob type cookware. They don't tell you about that when you spend an extra £200 on a hob. You now need to spend £200 on a set of saucepans.
Is it special saucepans then for that?
Yeah, special saucepans for the induction.
Well, what was the hob you had before? Wasn't that induction?
No, that wasn't induction. No, that's just electrical.
Oh, I thought a flat hob was a flat hob, and that was it.
No.
Oh, I don't know anything about that really. Well, this phone call has been really interesting, yeah.
Well, no. Well,
now, listen.
No.
Listen, I want to warn you now. Though it comes.
Oh, Gary Ross. I like this one. I'm too opinionated. I would have killed him. I would have killed Chris.
What?
So Gary Ross has said about me.
Yes.
Too opinionated. I've have him killed. Oh.
As in me or you?
You might want to sort your grammar out first before you speak to someone, Gary Ross, because your grammar is atrocious. They probably won't understand what you're saying.
Oh dear, you're so rude.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've just had a text in. My climate control in the caravan has turned on the heating as it's gone below 5 degrees.
Caravan? Oh, not another.
Sorry, the Lincolnshire Television Studio Complex.
Oh, caravan. Oh, God, you have to.
You loved it. You came up there a couple of years ago. You loved it. You loved it.
You sound like a traveller. It's a holiday home.
You loved it when you came up there.
One of those.
You practically emptied a bottle of gas one night with the heating on all night long.
Oh, it was lime green. I had to put iPads on so that I didn't get blinded by the lime green. It's awful. Blinded
by the light. Did you hear that word then? The light.
Just give me the light.
Just give me the light. Just give me the light. Just give me the light. Just give me the light. Yeah, Sean Paul. They don't ask for that one in the morning.
Yeah. No, they don't. Anyway,
have you heard my sung jingles on Reach on Air? Have you heard my sung jingles?
I'm going now.
Eh?
I'm going now.
Have you heard my sung jingles?
Oh, bye-bye.
Chris Reardon in the morning.
Oh, he's gone. Good. Any rude. That's my mate. You wonder why I don't get on with him. Rude, dear. Rude. If you're on one of those dating apps, romance fraud is on the rise, according to a story on the BBC website. Now, I've been on a couple of these sites and that. Oh, hang on. Are you called back then? Oh, is that the old call, is it there? I don't know what that is now. 1 minute. What have I done there? Ooh, something's gone wrong. I have a little error come up there. 1 moment. What have I done? There we go. I don't know if you're on any of these dating apps. I found, including on the Tinder one, you know the Tinder one? I kept getting these photos and the people just look a bit too perfect. Do you know what I mean? And I can sniff them out straight away, whether it's a genuine person who happens to be on there or, I mean, I don't know. Some of the people sending me the message are like a 10 and I would consider myself maybe a 3. Well, a 10 doesn't send a 3 a message, does he? You know? And there was lots of them. Hi, how are you? And the conversation runs dry pretty quickly. But I suss them out. There's apparently a lot of romance fraud going on at the moment. Someone scamming people out of money by pretending to want a relationship. And this has been on the rise during lockdown. According to UK Finance, this is on the BBC website, there was a 20% increase in bank transfer fraud linked to romance scams in 2020 compared to 2018. And this is the sort of thing. Well, let's take another call. Finishing 7-1. Hello, who's that, please? Hello? No? Couldn't hear you then. Okay, 7-1. Try again. You get a second chance, my darling. Try again. Finishing 7-1 there. Call coming in there. Yeah. £68 million was lost to such scams in 2020, said the UK's Action Fraud, another increase on the previous year. Organisations warn people to be vigilant ahead of Valentine's Day. The advice suggests online daters should never send any money. And we've seen this in newspapers and on the telly in stories before, haven't we? You know, not necessarily always an old person, but I've seen many stories of elderly ladies being chatted up by young blokes who could be their grandchildren, to be honest. And the chat goes on for a while, and then they ask for money so that they can come and visit them, and they send them X thousands of pounds, and they go, oh, I'm really sorry, I haven't spent the money on that because my dad was seriously ill and I've spent it on that. I hope you don't mind, which means I can't visit you unless you send me another ticket and what have you. And they send them money for plane tickets and things. And of course, these poor old dears turn up at airports and no one turns up. No one turns up. And on one hand, you kind of think to yourself, that's really sad that someone would do that. And on the other hand, you think, how can anyone actually believe someone's going to turn up in the first place? But then there are those that take it a bit further and they do actually turn up. And while they're here, they extract every single pound of their pension money out of them. I mean, I don't know if the old dears get any fun while this is going on. You know, I don't know if that happens. All right? And as soon as they run out of money, they disappear. Never send any money to these people. The advice also says, neither should you hand over copies of personal documents, such as their passport or driving licence. Don't invest any money on the other person's advice. Do not receive or send parcels on the other person's behalf. You don't know what's in that box. Perform a reverse image search on search engine to see if people are using fake images. I don't know what that is. Perform a reverse image search. Anyone know what that is? I don't know what that is. To see if the person is using fake images. Contact your bank immediately if you think you've fallen for a scam and report it to Action Fraud. Of course, these are not the other scams that we always watching out for, you know. The old email from the Inland Revenue asking you for your bank details so that they can send you a £10,000 refund. Or the TV licence people that tell you you're late with your licence and there's going to be a £5,000 fine unless you send your money immediately to this address. Or the bank fraud. What about that one? Oh, there's suspicious bank activity on your account. Could you ring this number? You ring the number that's on the email. Someone answers the other end, asks for your details, and they empty your bank. Terrible. As well as that, you've got this romance fraud. People pretending to fancy you, when actually all they want is your bank and all that. Terrible, really, isn't it? And it's got worse in the last year, apparently. All right. Okay, gang, it's just after we're late tonight, aren't we? We've gone well over time tonight. When I do these shows, they're only ever supposed to be an hour long, you know. That's absolutely true, that is. Anyway, gonna fold it up there, gang. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Thanks very, very much to those of you that took the time and trouble to like the show. I hope Gary Ross gets better now. He wasn't very well last week, Gary, and his dad isn't too well either. So, Gary, I do hope you and your father get well very soon, my darling. All right, the next live chat show will be on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. Okay, Saturday morning at 9 o'clock is our next live chat show. Tomorrow morning, I'll be back on the radio. There it is. reachonair.com tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. Listen either on a computer or via Siri or your Amazon speaker or your Google mini speaker. I have yet to find anyone with a Google mini speaker. I've still not come across anyone who's got one of those yet. Funny, isn't it, really? All right. So there are all the places and things that I shall be doing. Tomorrow, I'm taking in this little phone for repair. I've found someone that says he can do it for like... It's the lines. Can you see those lines going down there? That's what I want fixing. That's what I want to fix in there, the lines. And I found some bloke in Bracknell on Google search, who repairs phones. He says it needs a new screen. He's going to charge me 30 quid, which seems very fair. If I was to send it to Apple, you'd be looking at 100 quid. I don't want to spend 100 quid on a phone. I mean, you can buy a second-hand one, a good second-hand one for 60 quid. You know, but I didn't even expect to have to spend that sort of money. I thought I'd get a second-hand. Oh, it's iPhone 5. They're quite old now, aren't they? They're old. I thought, you know, I might get it fixed for like, or get a new one. Not a new one, like something on eBay for like 30 or 40 quid. No, they kind of start at about 60 or 70 quid on there. So one of those things. Tonight, if you've got not doing anything, go over on Reach on Air. I don't know who's on tonight, actually. Alan Ross is, of course, with you at 12 midnight with that wonderful show he does. Who's on now? Let's have a look. Don't know who's on tonight. Tonight, what is it? 10. So we've got Chris Batchelor. Oh, he's got a nice voice. Chris Batchelor. He's on at 10 o'clock now. And then Clive is on at 11. And then Alan Ross at 12 o'clock. And you can find those at reachonair.com. Thank you very much. I'm going to watch a little bit of telly now and have a nice cup of tea. Maybe one tiny little slice of toast and some butter and marmalade. I'll see you again for another chat show on Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. Thanks for watching and listening. And keep warm tonight. -7 it's going to be here. Hot water bottles. Good night.